What's going on, everybody, and welcome back. Today I'm going to be going over my top 10 list for New Comic Book Day, April 13th, 2022. Horror fans, what a week for us. We had a fantastic week of new comics. We had a lot of new series released as well. I cannot wait to talk about this list, so let's jump right into it. Alright everyone, so as I begin to talk about this week's top 10 list, just be aware, there's definitely going to be spoilers. I get really excited talking about some of these books, I get a little bit more in depth than I would like to, I let some stuff slip up, but I am going to put a spoiler tag down below to give you a heads up that a spoiler is about to happen. So to kick this list off first, we've got coming in at number 10, we've got Image's brand new series. We have A Town Called Terror. Issue number 1, this is cover A. I was really looking forward to this. You know I love Image, my indies, my horror books, so this one obviously right up my alley. It wasn't that I thought it was bad, I definitely thought it was a little bit more of a letdown. Obviously it's coming in at number 10. I absolutely love the artwork. I thought it truly was phenomenal. I just love how it just spanned across the pages, how it all flowed together. The artwork was top notch. The story wasn't bad by any means either. It was very mysterious. They didn't go in depth with literally anything. Everything was just very broad in this first issue. It left the reader just honestly really wanting more. And I guess you can say that's what you want out of an issue. But as far as a first one goes, I wanted just a little bit something more. Maybe that's just my opinion. So about this first issue, we've got our main character. He basically gets kidnapped, but he pretty much just got taken back to his hometown where he said he was never going to return home. He never wanted to go back. I guess he lost contact with his family over the years. You don't know anything about that either, but something mysterious and creepy is going on in this town. We don't really go into the town itself, but we see his dad get brought back to life. I'm sure that has something to do with it. I want to hear your opinions on this one down low. It really wasn't that bad of a first issue, despite it coming in at number 10. I just wanted a little bit more from it. So for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 10. This is Image's A Town Called Terror, issue number 1. Next up, folks, we've got coming in at number 9, this is Marvel's Venom, issue number 7, this is cover A. In my opinion, this series continues to be a letdown. This issue wasn't all that bad, but honestly, that's the same thing I say about every single one of these issues. We finish it up and it's like, oh, that was an okay issue, it wasn't horrible, maybe it's gonna get better as the issues progress, but we're on number 7 now, and I'm still feeling the exact same way. To be honest, the only reason I'm still reading this is because it's written by Ram V, and I love a lot of the stuff that he writes, and it's one of my favorite characters, Venom. We just wrapped up Donny Cates' stuff, although I didn't think the ending was all that great. Leading up to it, I thought it was a fantastic run, so for that to lead into this, I had higher expectations, and just as of now, it's just not doing it for me. Everything that's going on with this biker gang and Dylan right now, and then the Life Foundation, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I guess I don't really care about any of it. We don't know who these bikers are. Dylan just happened to wander into this town, and the whole last issue is just a backstory on that. That's cool and all. I figured maybe it's just a one little issue thing happening, and now we've got this one where it's kind of a follow-up of that. And now we have Bedlam, who's still working behind the scenes, but there's a lot more action in this one. I thought that was really cool. But other than that, story-wise, there's just really not a lot happening right now. But the one thing that I did really like about this issue was the cliffhanger that we got left on at the very ending. This is going to be a spoiler, even though we didn't really learn anything at all. So Bedlam revealed himself, and it kind of left Dylan's face like, oh man, like, it's you? Well, I want to know who it is now too. So it's like, for those reasons, I'm definitely going to be continuing on with this series, because now I want to know who Bedlam is as well. But I still have high hopes. Like I said before, love Ram V, big fan of Venom. I just want a little bit more out of this series right now. But for those reasons, we've got Venom issue number 7 coming in at number 9. And next up on my list this week, we've got coming in at number 8, this is Marvel's Black Panther, issue number 5. This is cover A. This is another series that I keep having higher expectations for, and I just don't know why. I really want to like this Black Panther run. I love the covers. I want to read a good Black Panther series, and this just isn't it. I really didn't enjoy the first 4 issues all that much. It kept me a little interested. I wanted to know the mystery of who's kind of the traitor behind Wakanda right now, who turned on T'Challa. I was hooked, but the story itself just really wasn't all that good. The artwork is okay too. This one picks up where the last one left off, and they're just dealing with the trial, and I thought to myself, man, this is going to be another boring issue. This is going to be the last one until I pull it off my poll list, but this happened to be probably my favorite issue of the series so far, and I'm on the hook just for a little bit longer though. This one does pick up where the last one left off. They are basically dealing with the trial, who was the traitor to Wakanda, and someone did get convicted. And I thought to myself, alright, well, we're back to another boring series. Where do we go from here? But who they convicted actually may not have been the traitor, and then they flip the switch, and they think it's actually T'Challa who's been working behind the scenes this whole time, And there was a lot of stuff that happened in this issue. It honestly really wasn't that bad. Once we got through the beginning stages of it, it picked up a little bit more. We got a lot more action. I'm going to give it a few more issues. I want to hear about your opinions on this one down low. But for those reasons, we've got Black Panther issue number 5 coming in at number 8. Next up this week, we've got coming in at number 7. This is Marvel's Miles Morales Spider-Man, issue number 37. This is cover A. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a big fan of this series. I just love Miles Morales' stuff. I think Saladin Ahmed overall has done a phenomenal job on his run so far. The last issue, I really didn't think was good at all. And to be honest, I thought this one was just okay too. The best way that I can just describe both of those issues or make a comparison, assuming you're up to date with some other Marvel titles, is Donny Cates' Thor series between the first and second arc. Those 2 issues where Thor was kind of figuring out that something was wrong with Mjolnir and they were just kind of going about that. That's exactly how this felt. A couple issues ago, Miles found out that his Uncle Aaron was alive. They stepped into the portal, basically leading into the Spider-Verse again, and I thought that was going to be awesome. But that first issue was the same thing with Donny Cates' Mjolnir issue. It's just, all right, it's a little boring. He's just kind of going through different portals. It felt exactly like that Into the Spider-Verse series from, I think, 2018. Not a big fan of it. This issue was a little bit better. We had a lot more action, but kind of the same thing. He's just going through the portal, dealing with Ultimatum, and just, I don't know, not a lot of stuff happened. However, this is where the comparison comes in at, because that obviously led to the next arc with Donny Cates, and now this one, Miles finally made it into the world where his Uncle Aaron supposedly is, and someone is behind the scenes, and man, I'm really excited to see where they're going with this. And I understand, some issues are going to be slower, they need a little break, or just lead into the next big idea that they've got. I thought it was a good setup, but I'm so pumped for this next arc. Saladin Ahmed is about to kill it, but for those reasons, we've got Miles Morales, Spider-Man, issue number 37, coming in at number 7. All right, everyone, now this next one is going to blow a lot of your minds. We've got coming in at number 6, this is Marvel's new series, X-Men 92, House of 92, issue number 1. This is the Nakayama variant cover. I know there's a lot of you out there looking at this like, this man has got an X-Men book on his table right now, and he's about to review it. I can't wait to hear what this guy's got to say about X-Men. Someone who has been very open about not being an X-Men fan, not really enjoying a lot of the stuff, not up to date even remotely on X-Men. The last thing that I had on this channel that was X-Men relating, I think literally was House and Powers of X, and I thought that was actually pretty good. Moved on to Dawn of X, and I just kind of dropped it from there, and then that was the last thing I read from any X-Men title. I picked this up strictly because it deals with the 90s X-Men stuff, and I loved it growing up. I thought it was a fantastic show, and that's why I grabbed it. It had a lot of 90s style in it, just the slang, the colors that they used, the style of just what the X-Men looked like. I thought it was fantastic. I basically bought it for nostalgia purposes, but overall, I thought it was a really good issue too. Now, like I said before, I'm going to be real with you. I don't know if there's something to read before this. I don't know if this was led into. I don't know where this is going to lead in the grand scheme of things. I don't know if this is just going to be maybe a little tie-in to the overall grand picture of the X-Men right now. I'm talking about strictly X-Men 92 right now. I thought it was really cool. We had a ton of action. They brought up Krakoa. The X-Men were just taking down the Sentinels. It was just a really fun issue, and like I said before, I bought it strictly for nostalgia purposes. I want to hear about your opinions on this one down low. I want to hear if maybe there's something else I should be picking up to get a little bit more well-versed in the X-Men scene right now. But for those reasons, I'm sorry I can't really get more in-depth with this for you, but we've got X-Men 92, issue number 1, coming in at number 6. All right, everyone, super quick before I get started off on this next issue, if you are enjoying the video so far, be sure to hit the thumbs up button and the subscribe button down below. It really does help out. And if you don't want to miss out on any of my upcoming content, be sure to hit the notification bell as well. You won't regret it. And now we've got coming in at number 5 this week. This is Marvel's What If? Miles Morales Became Wolverine, issue number 2. This is cover A. I love What If stuff. I am a big fan of it. I am absolutely biased towards it. I will tell you that. It's just such a nice break from reading just the typical stuff. I love just, we've got Miles Morales, Spider-Man. What if he became Wolverine instead, though? So what led into this series, though, if you're not up to date on the ongoing Miles stuff, is the whole Portal, Spider-Verse stuff that I was just talking about before, like the couple mini issues. At the end of the one issue, he looked into the portal and he saw multiple different versions of himself. And I guess by him stepping through, they opted to do a whole What If series on Miles Morales. And this one happens to be if he was Wolverine. I'm not going to be getting too in-depth with it, but just like the last issue, they included his family. I thought it was awesome. His uncle was Sabretooth. They brought Genki in as Professor X at the very end. A ton of action, and just, how Miles dealt with the whole Weapon X program, him becoming just Wolverine. It was a very fun read. Obviously, if you're not a Miles Morales fan, Wolverine fan, What If fan, you're probably not going to enjoy this one either, but seriously, if you're a fan of at least one of them, definitely pick this one up. I'm loving it so far, and you don't need to read the first one either. They're not connected in any way. As of now, so far, it's just a whole separate issue for both of them. But for those reasons, we've got What If Miles Morales Became Wolverine, issue number 2, coming in at number 5. Next up on my list this week, we've got coming in at number 4. This is AWA Upshots Hit Me, issue number 2. This is cover A. This was a fantastic second issue, an incredible follow-up to the first one. But real quick, before I get started off on this second one, be sure to stick around to the end of this video. I've got a huge announcement for you guys that you do not want to miss out on. Now, as far as this second issue goes, definitely a continuation off the first one. Honestly, not a lot of stuff happened in this second issue. If you can recall from the first one, we've got our two main characters. She's definitely got a very odd job where she basically gets paid to be either tortured or hit. And if you do recall, she was on one of the jobs, someone died, they found this nice big bag of diamonds, and now they're on the run. They're trying to figure out what to do next, and that's exactly what this issue was. A lot of action happens, and it leads perfectly into the third issue. I highly recommend this one, and I cannot wait for the next one. But for those reasons, we've got Hit Me, issue number 2, coming in at number 4. And now we're down to our final 3 issues of the week. We've got coming in at number 3 this week. This is DC's new series. We've got Nightmare Country, issue number 1. This one spans out of the Sandman universe. Sadly, I'm not going to be getting too in-depth with this issue. I have zero knowledge of the Sandman universe. This is the first thing I have read, and I've been told by a lot of people, well, that was a mistake on your end. There's characters in here that were in other stuff, and if you are a fan of the Sandman universe and just other Sandman stuff, this is going to be right up your alley. I was told by those fans that this was an incredible first issue, which should also say something. By me saying I have no knowledge of this, I've never read anything, I don't know who these characters are, I think they did a phenomenal job for a new reader to be able to jump into this. The artwork was incredible, James Tynion IV storytelling top-notch as always. With this one, it was so creepy. It's called Nightmare Country, and everything was just literally nightmare fuel. I think they even used that phrase in the issue itself. I would like to talk about this one a little bit more down low with you guys because, like I said, I don't really have a lot of info on it. I'm not sure if some of these characters are just reused characters. They've been in other stuff. I know some of them have, but I can't speak on all of them. So I want to hear your opinions. I want to talk about it with you, but for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 3, Nightmare Country, issue number 1. Folks, we're down to our final 2 issues of the week. We've got coming in at number 2 this week. This is Image's Nita Hawes Nightmare Blog, issue number 6. This is cover A. This is also the end of the arc, and this was an incredible ending to the first arc. I highly recommend this series. I think it's fantastic. I love the artwork. And just the whole first case for Nita Hawes was basically concluded in this one. I know sometimes when an arc ends, they leave some cliffhangers. It leads into the next one. I'm sure there's some things that are going to come back like the demon, but this one basically got wrapped up very well. There's a lot of stuff happening in this one. We've got Nita Hawes. She's still in hell. She's dealing with the demon. But we also still have Howling Henry on Earth, and he's still terrorizing people. It basically was just nonstop action this entire issue. And by the ending, it just felt so satisfying. We've got demons versus some angels. Nita Hawes makes her way back to Earth, and just everything that happened between her and Howling Henry, fantastic. Very top-notch series right now from Image. Highly recommend it. If you want to pick up the back issues, definitely wait for a trade paperback. But at this point, it's not really mixed yet, but definitely read Philadelphia as well. Those two are just going to pair so well with each other once they eventually make that crossover. I'm so pumped going forward. But for those reasons, we've got Nita Hawes' Nightmare Blog, issue number 6, coming in at number 2. And this is it, everyone. My top read of the week we've got coming in at number 1 this week. This is Image's Nocterra, issue number 9. This is cover A. Such a phenomenal issue again. I love Nocterra. This entire team is absolutely killing it on this series right now. Every issue leaves me wanting just one more, maybe another page, just something else. As soon as the one issue is done, I need the other one ASAP. So with this one, as always, artwork, top-notch. Storytelling gets better and better. I feel so invested in these characters. The entire just Nocterra world. I want to see them save everything. but now the way that this one took a turn, I wasn't exactly sure how I felt about it because I think it was the last issue or the one before that. Blacktop Bill is pretty much on their team now, and I thought, well, the whole time they were chasing him or they were being chased by him and his team. So for them to do a team up, I'm not sure how I feel about it, but at the same time, they're still very on the fence with him. They hate him. They say he's a horrible person. But Blacktop Bill, he's making some pretty good points with the stuff he's saying. He might be evil. He might be horrible. But he made one comment that was like, if you do fix the world, are the people really worth saving or something along those lines? And you see some of those characters kind of think about that, and it kind of resonates with them just a little bit like, man, the world we save, what are we actually saving? The people who did live, they made lives for themselves. Do we go back to how the world was? How do we move forward? You see them start to think about those things. But then at the same time, they're also talking about how they're going to make it to EOS to save everything. I love it. I highly recommend it. Usually I say just buy the trade paperback, read it all at once. But if you can find the back issues, definitely grab them. This is something going forward I could see them having a very long series for. Hell, maybe even making an incredible TV show out of it. So, I don't know. I'm stocking up on them, not because maybe spec purposes, but man, I truly do love this series. But for those reasons, we absolutely have coming in at number 1 this week, Nocterra, issue number 9. So what'd you guys think about this week's new comic book day? I'd say overall it was a fantastic week. Indie fans, horror fans, we had so many good books that came out this week. Even the books I was kind of on the fence with that I thought, all right, these are just all right. They really weren't all that bad of books. The other ones were just so much better. Now, the big announcement that I was talking about earlier, it's finally official. I can finally talk about it, but I'm going to be doing an exclusive cover with AWA Upshot. This is the cover right here. We've got a trade dress and a virgin variant of Devil's Highway Volume 2, issue number 1. My favorite comic book publisher, one of my favorite series through that company. I'm so happy to announce it, and this cover is fantastic. It's done by none other than Javon Jordan. Follow him on Instagram. I'm going to have his links down low in the description. He does phenomenal work. I'm so happy I was able to pair up with him and do this cover. But that's all the info I have for you right now on that. Stay tuned for more. And thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. And if you don't want to miss out on any of my upcoming content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down low and the little bell to get notified. Every time I drop new content, you won't regret it. And I've got 2 more videos sitting off the side here with more of my comic book content. Click on one of those and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.